Look at me carefully. What I'm about to tell you is not motivation. It is not self-help. It is not comfort. This is the truth about how humans really behave when nobody is watching. For 500 years, these ideas were whispered in private rooms, studied by kings, used by generals, and hidden from ordinary men. A man named Niccolò Machiavelli wrote the most dangerous observations about not how humans should act, but how they actually act. And once you understand this, you will never see people the same way again. Your father didn't teach you this. Your teachers didn't teach you this. Society avoids teaching this. Why? Because a man who understands human nature becomes impossible to control. Most men grow up believing people are logical, that if you explain things clearly, others will do what is right. That is a lie. Human beings are they don't choose what is best. They choose what feels easiest, what looks good, what avoids discomfort. Machiavelli said, "Men judge more by the eye than by the hand. Everyone can see, but few can feel." Meaning people believe appearances, not reality. They follow what looks powerful, not what is correct. Look around you. Your friend wants success but scrolls his phone all day. Your coworker wants respect but tolerates disrespect. Humans don't move by logic. They move by emotion, fear, pride, and desire. If you try to change people using facts, you will fail. If you understand their emotions, you will lead them. This is where weak men lose power. They argue, they explain, they beg to be understood. Strong men don't argue. They frame reality. They make others feel something. Confidence is not loud. It is calm, and people follow what does not chase them. Here is the first lesson of power. Never try to convince people with logic alone. Make them feel the decision is theirs. Make them feel strong. Make them feel important. Make them feel safe or afraid. Because feelings decide everything. Now let me tell you something uncomfortable. Your loyalty means nothing if it is not returned. You were taught to be loyal at all costs, to stay even when disrespected. It is safer to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. This is not about cruelty. This is about boundaries. Unreturned loyalty is not noble. It is weakness. The man who gives everything and receives nothing is not good. He is used. Look at your life. The friend who only calls when he needs something. The company that says we are family, but the woman who wants your commitment but keeps her options open. That is not loyalty. That is leverage. Powerful men understand one rule. Loyalty must be earned and maintained. They give respect where respect exists. They withdraw when it disappears. Not emotionally, not dramatically, calmly, silently. Because once people know you will always stay, they stop valuing you. Scarcity creates respect. Boundaries create authority, and authority creates safety. Now listen closely. Your reputation is not who you really are. Your reputation is what people believe you are, Machiavelli said. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few know what you really are. Most men expose everything about themselves, their fears, their doubts, their plans, and then they wonder why nobody respects them. Power is controlled visibility. You don't show weakness to those who can use it against you. You don't explain decisions to people who don't affect your future. You build a reputation of calm, competence, and mystery. You speak less, you act more. You solve problems instead of complaining. You become rare instead of available, because what is always available becomes invisible. Reputation is not ego, it is armor, and armor protects you when conflict comes. Because conflict will come, there is no avoiding it. Competition exists everywhere, at work, in relationships, in social circles. Someone always wants your... The man who avoids conflict is already defeated. The man who prepares for it never has to fight. He trains when there is peace. He saves when there is income. He builds when there is time. Machiavelli said, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. So you must be both. Wise enough to see danger, strong enough to stop it, not aggressive, prepared, and find the biggest lie you were taught. Just be nice, and people will like you. Nice is weakness when it has no strength behind it. Goodness without power is ignored. Power with goodness is respected. Nice men avoid hard conversations. Strong men face them. Nice men seek approval. Strong men earn respect. Nice men fear being disliked. Strong men fear being irrelevant. You don't need to be cruel. You need to be solid. Kind with boundaries, calm with authority, silent. This is about clarity. Seeing humans as they are, not as you wish they were. You now understand one truth. People follow strength, not words. They respect boundaries, not excuses. They remember presence, not promises. And once you see this, you can never unsee it. You are no longer playing blind. You understand the game, and a man who understands the game is never controlled by it. Now listen carefully. If you understood the first part, then you already see, because understanding human emotion is only the surface. Power is not about what you say. Power is about what people believe when you are silent. A man named Niccolò Machiavelli understood one brutal truth. People do not respect kindness. They respect consequences. Most men live their lives trying to be liked. They soften their words. They hide their standards. They tolerate disrespect. Here is the truth. No one wants to hear. If there is no cost to crossing you, you will be crossed. Humans test boundaries naturally. It is instinct. In friendships, in work, in relationships. They push a little, then a little more, until they see how far they can go. Weak men explain. Strong men act. Not with anger, not with drama, with calm. When you stop reacting emotionally, when you stop chasing validation, when you stop needing approval, people feel it. People feel it. They feel distance. They feel uncertainty. They feel loss of control. And that is when respect begins. Power is not loud, it is still. Now understand this. Your value increases when your presence is not guaranteed. If people know you will always answer, always forgive, always stay, they stop appreciating you. Scarcity is not water is valuable in the desert. Your time is valuable when it is limited. Stop being endlessly available, not cold, not cruel, selective. Your energy is currency. Spend it where it is respected. Another truth most men never learn: people don't remember what you say. They remember how you made them feel about themselves. That is why some men walk into a room and instantly command attention, not because they do not explain their existence. They stand as if they belong, and the mind of others adjusts to that image. Perception becomes reality. If you act unsure, people treat you as unsure. If you act grounded, people treat you as grounded. Your posture, your silence, your pacing, your eye contact, these speak louder than words. Powerful men understand this language. They speak without speaking. Now let's talk about fear. Not Machiavelli was misunderstood. He did not teach cruelty. He taught stability. Love is fragile. Fear is reliable. Love changes with mood. Fear stays with memory. People forget kindness. They remember boundaries. A man who can walk away. A man who can say no. A man who does not beg is a man people think twice before crossing. Not because he is violent. You must become predictable in principles, but unpredictable in reaction, calm, measured, controlled, never emotional in public. Emotion is information to your enemies. When people see your anger, they know where to push. When people see your fear, they know where to strike. When people see your need, they know how to manipulate. So you become unreadable, not fake, private. You share strength publicly. You process weakness privately. This is how kings survive. This is how being powerful does not mean dominating others. It means mastering yourself. Your impulses, your reactions, your ego. If someone insults you and you explode, they control you. If someone ignores you and you chase, they control you. If someone leaves and you beg, they control you. Power is when nothing pulls you off your path. You respond when it serves you, and that makes people uncomfortable because they cannot read you. They cannot predict you. They cannot control you. Now understand this final lesson of this part. You do not need to be loved by everyone. You need to be respected by yourself. The moment you stop proving your worth, the moment you stop seeking approval, the moment you stop explaining your choices, people begin adjusting to you. Not the other way around. You do not chase status. You become solid, and status follows. This is not quiet strength, clear standards, controlled emotion. And once you master this, you will notice something strange. People listen when you speak. They hesitate before crossing you. They seek your approval without you asking. Not because you demanded it, because your presence taught them to. This is the second layer of power, and once you understand this layer, you stop being part of the noise. Now we move into the most dangerous level of understanding. A man named Niccolò Machiavelli understood something most men never accept. People do not follow truth. They follow strength mixed with hope. Hope without strength is fantasy. Strength without hope is tyranny. Power lives between both. Here is the truth. Humans want leaders. Even when they pretend they want freedom, they want someone who stands firm when they feel weak, someone who decides when they hesitate. This is why crowds follow confidence, not intelligence. Most men destroy their influence by over-explaining. They justify, they defend, they argue, and the moment you explain too much, you lower your position. Powerful men speak simply, briefly, calmly. They don't convince, they declare, not with arrogance, with certainty. Certainty is magnetic. Doubt is contagious. And here is something uncomfortable. If you hesitate, someone else will decide for you. Life does not reward waiting. It rewards clarity. This is why Machiavelli warned, a prince who is indecisive invites rebellion. In modern life, that means the man who cannot choose is chosen for. Now understand another layer. People are loyal to winners, not morally, psychologically. They attach themselves to success. This is why when a man rises, everyone suddenly supported him. They didn't change. He did. You must become the man others attach to, not by boasting, by building your work, your discipline, your silence, your consistency. Power grows quietly. Weakness announces itself loudly. Another hard truth. People respect distance more than closeness. When you are always available, you lose mystery. When you disappear into your purpose, value creates influence. Do not share your plans. Do not broadcast your struggles. Do not seek sympathy. Sympathy weakens your image. Respect strengthens it. Strong men are not emotionless. They are selective. They choose who sees inside them. Now listen carefully. There is a difference between being feared and being dangerous. Feared men rely on one loses power with time. The other gains it. You do not need to threaten. You need to be capable. Capability is silent. When people know you can walk away, they treat you better. When people know you can replace them, they respect you. When people know you do not need them, they desire your approval. This is human nature, and this is why dependency destroys authority. Neediness is visible. Commands everything. Now understand this about manipulation. True manipulation is emotional weakness, because when you manipulate, you fear losing control. Powerful men don't manipulate. They structure reality. They design situations where people choose what benefits both sides. They do not lie. They arrange. They do not beg. They position. They do not force. They allow others to see the only logical path. That is real influence. And here is a final lesson of this part. Not strategically. The moment people think they fully know you, they stop fearing your depth. Mystery is not deception. It is protection. You do not owe transparency to the world. You owe discipline to yourself. You owe growth to your future and silence to your enemies. This is how power survives, not by noise, not by rage, but by structure. You now understand something rare. They avoid chaos. Become the calm center. Not reactive, not emotional, not desperate, focused, still, unshakable. This is the third layer of power. And when this layer is mastered, you no longer chase respect. Respect finds you. Now we reach the level most men are afraid to face, because this part is not about others. It is about you. A man named Niccolò Machiavelli believed illusion about yourself, illusion about people, illusion about the world. Most men live inside a story they tell themselves. I am good, so good things should happen to me. If I work hard, people will respect me. If I am honest, I will be protected. Reality does not work that way. Reality rewards awareness, not intention. Good men get betrayed. Honest men get ignored. But because the world is competitive, and competition does not care about your feelings, this is the moment where weak men become bitter, and strong men become disciplined. They stop blaming others. They stop expecting fairness. They stop waiting for permission. They accept one truth. No one is coming to save you. Your strength is your safety. Your clarity is your shield. Your discipline is your weapon. Now understand this. Power begins when you stop. Someone insults them, they explode. Someone ignores them, they chase. Someone leaves, they collapse. They think this is love. This is not love. This is dependency. Powerful men do not collapse when things change. They adjust, they observe, they adapt, they move forward. Because they know something. Nothing in this world is permanent, not friendships, not loyalty, so they build themselves, not circumstances. Now, listen carefully. The greatest form of control is self-control. If you can control your anger, your hunger, your fear, your ego, you cannot be manipulated. If someone cannot make you react, they cannot make you lose. Emotion is the door to your mind, and most men leave it open. They post their pain, they announce their failures, they expose their insecurity, and then they wonder why people treat them lightly. Strong, because they are strategic. Privacy is power. Your struggles are for growth, not for display. Your pain is for lessons, not for performance. The man who shares everything has nothing protected. Another uncomfortable truth. People don't respect potential, they respect proof. You can talk about your dreams, you can talk about your plans, you can talk about your future, but until there is evidence, you are just noise. Silent. And here is something most men misunderstand. Power is not domination, it is independence. The man who needs approval is weak. The man who needs nothing is strong. Independence of emotion, independence of opinion, independence of direction. You decide who you are. You decide what you tolerate. You decide what you walk away from. And walking away is power, because it proves you have. Only men with no standards tolerate disrespect. Standards are invisible borders, and borders create nations. Now the final truth of this part. You must become comfortable with being misunderstood. Powerful men are rarely understood. They are often judged, often doubted, often criticized. Because clarity threatens confusion, strength exposes weakness, and people attack what reminds them of what they are not. Do not defend yourself to everyone. Do not explain yourself to everyone. Do not lower yourself to be accepted. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be solid, calm, focused, unmoved. This is the fourth layer of power. Not control over others, control over yourself. And when a man controls himself, the world cannot control him. This is the final layer, and this is where everything comes together. Because now, you no longer learn about power. A man named Niccolò Machiavelli understood that the highest form of power is not fear, not love, not influence. It is being impossible to ignore. Most men live their lives invisible. They speak, and no one listens. They enter rooms, and no one notices. They work hard, and no one remembers. not because they are weak, but because they never learned. It is in how you walk, how you pause, how you look at others without needing anything from them. Needing nothing is the loudest signal of strength. The man who does not beg, does not chase, does not explain, becomes the man others adjust to. This is the final truth. Power is not taken, it is accepted. People choose who to follow, they choose who to respect, they choose who to fear losing, and they choose based. When others panic, he stays still. When others complain, he builds. When others react, he observes. This makes people trust him. This makes people depend on him. This makes people follow him, not because he asks, because he stands. Now understand this. You do not need to dominate conversations. You need to dominate direction. Talk less. Decide more. Weak men argue about opinions. Strong men move toward outcomes. You don't need to be the loudest voice. You don't need to be the loudest voice in the room. You need to be the one whose words end the discussion. That comes from alignment between thought and action. When your words match your behavior matches your standards, and your standards match your purpose. You become solid. And solidity is rare. Most men are fragmented. They say one thing and do another. They want strength but live in fear. They want respect but act needy. And people feel this conflict. But when a man is whole, when he is centered, when he is consistent, he becomes heavy. Not physically, psychologically. His silence weighs more than others' noise. And now the final principle, Machiavelli hinted at: never be forgotten, not through fame, not through drama, but through impact. People remember the man who changed how they think, the man who did not break under pressure, the man who did not bend to fear, the man who did not beg for validation. You must become that man, not for them, for yourself. You were not born to be manageable. You were not born to be harmless. You were not born to be invisible. You were born to see clearly, to understand the game being played, and to play it consciously. This does not make you cruel. It makes you awake. It does not make you dangerous to others. It makes you dangerous to weakness. From this moment on, you stop explaining yourself. You stop chasing approval. You stop fearing conflict. You stop needing permission. You move with discipline. You speak with intention. You act with calm certainty. You become a man of weight. And when you walk into any room, people feel it. Not because you demand attention, but because you no longer need it. This is the final lesson. It is better to be respected than understood. It is better to be solid than liked. It is better to be feared than ignored. But above all, it is better to be in control of yourself than to control others, because the man who controls himself controls his destiny. This knowledge was hidden for centuries, not because it was evil, but because it was powerful, and now you have it. Use it with discipline. Use it with wisdom. Use it with silence. You have seen the truth about human nature. You have seen the structure of power. You have seen the path of strength. And once a man sees clearly, he can never return to blindness. This is not the end. This is the beginning of the man you were always meant to become.